Good morning, everybody. My name is Jody. My husband David John and I have a small farm in the panhandle of North Idaho. These are stories and adventures, so welcome to Moose Flats Farm. And today we're going to go into the house, into the kitchen, and work on making strawberry rhubarb jam. And there is a difference between jams and jellies. I know it sounds obvious, but there are people that don't realize what the technical difference is. So your jams are your fruit spread that has the seeds and the pulp and everything still in it. Your jellies are ones that have been strained, so it's just the juice that's then turned into the jelly. So let's go in and make some jam. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be doing strawberry rhubarb jam. We are going to be following the recipe out of the Ball home preserving cookbook. And I am going to be doing a double batch, so all of this has been doubled. I've gone through and got everything ready to go. So we will be adding 4 cups of crushed strawberries to our stock pot and 4 cups of chopped rhubarb. This stuff has been frozen because my rhubarb has already gone to flour, and that makes the stalks soft and not as good as when it's early spring. So I did pick and freeze it and pulled out 4 cups. The strawberries are fresh picked out of the garden but had been frozen till I had enough that I could make some jam. And we'll be adding 8 tablespoons of lemon juice to this. And then the next product, you actually have 2 different choices. You can do the classic powdered pectin, or you can do the liquid pectin. For this, we are going to be using the liquid pectin, so since this recipe is doubled, we will be using 2 packages of this pectin. When it comes out, it's really sticky and thick. So I'm going to switch over to the stove top. I'm going to turn the GoPro on so you guys can see at a better angle than from the main camera, and we'll get this stuff started. Okay, so I have both cameras going, recording at the same time, and we're just gonna mix this stuff together. Mix it all together, bring it up to a boil, and then we'll add the sugar all at once. So the amount of sugar that this recipe calls for, since it's a double batch, is going to be 11 cups of sugar. And I'm just going through because I did have a couple fresh berries that I just added to make sure I was at the 4-cup mark. That will get kind of broken down as they heat up, and I'm just kind of mashing the rhubarb so it's not big chunks. And I know I said I typically do the canning out in the seed shed on my last video, but because today is kind of cool and cloudy, I just figured it would just be just as easy to do it all down here at the house. Okay, it's starting to come up to a boil. Still just trying to get some of that rhubarb chunked up. Maybe should have chunked it a little more, but it'll still be good. I think I'm just going to take my motorboat and grind up that rhubarb a little bit more than it is. Okay, that looks a lot better. So now we'll just let this boil for a minute. And then we'll go through and add all our sugar all at once and then stir it in. Like all the pectin is wanting to stick to the whisk. Okay, the batteries on my GoPro kept dying. Not sure where my other ones are. So I pulled it off the stove, and as you see, it's got that foam on it. You're going to want to remove as much of that foam as you can. And this is actually, when my grandma was alive, her favorite part of the canning was the foam. Okay, that gets most of the foam removed. So we've got, ran these through the dishwasher this morning and they're still hot. We'll start out with 8 and see how many more we can get into that canner. And this tool here, it actually has got these notches on it that show you for the different head spaces, which is basically the air gap on the top of your jar. And on jellies, it's going to be a 1/4 inch, which is this lowest one. So you take it and place it on the lip of your jar, and that's as full as you want to fill your jars. Take our tool, and we are right at the 1/4 inch mark. So I'm going to take this paper towel with some distilled vinegar on it, not that much, and just lightly wipe the rim of the jar. Grab our lid, place it on, grab a band, it goes on snug, and then 1/4 turn, and you place it in the canner and repeat the process. And we can tell on that one, I obviously got it way too full. And there we go, we look good now. So we wound up with 13 half-pint jars. Got the canner back on high, so I'm gonna set these guys in, and I have a little bit too much water. It should only be about an inch above it, but it's better to have too much than not enough. So get this up to a boil and let it process for 10 minutes. I do have a little bit left in the bottom that I'm just going to pour in with the foam. You can just use the foam and this little bit left over just like regular jelly, and on the toaster in yogurt. And right now, while the jars are processing, is a really good time to start getting the kitchen destickified and cleaned up. And what I thought was the pectin in the whisk is actually the strings from the rhubarb. Now that they've soaked in some water and got rid of the strawberry color, I can see that it's not the pectin, so that's a good thing. Okay, so they've been boiling for 10 minutes. Gonna turn the element off, take the lid off, and then you'll just let them sit here just like this for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back to take them out and see what they look like. Okay, it's been approximately 5 minutes, and I'm going to use my jar removal tool. The first one's always the hard one to get out. That is pretty. Hopefully I've got it zoomed in well enough that you can see in the light how pretty that jam is. So we'll go through, I'll cover them with a towel, let them naturally cool here on the counter, go through and get labels on them, because you definitely need to date your stuff, so A, you remember what you have, and B, you can rotate your stuff so you're always eating the oldest first. And another takeaway that I've even written down in my book next time I go to make this strawberry rhubarb is I'm not going to use the whisk, just because, as you saw, the rhubarb, because it's kind of like celery, so it's got hairs in it, hairs for lack of a term, and just get caught up in the whisk. So using a spoon, you don't get your whisk full of stuff. So that's where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you have a good day and a good week, and I hope you enjoyed making strawberry rhubarb jam with me. Until our next adventure, bye for now.